What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Grayson here from Pokey Profit. Today, I want to talk a little bit about Brilliant Stars. And by the way, this isn't going to be a video that you actually have to be viewing your screen. You could just throw this on in the background if you're doing exercise, making dinner, whatever it is. I just want to get that out of the way. There will be a couple numbers on screen for those interested when we talk about a couple things in relation to Brilliant Stars and pop reports. But for the most part, you can just listen to this video. And the reason why I'm making this is twofold. First off, I've been working with a lot of people over the past 6 months who are new to TCGs. They're coming in, they're looking to build positions. And one of the things that I'm seeing a lot of over the past couple months is a worry about there being a potential large increase in supply for some of these newer sets, like the Mega Evolution sets, because of the new printing facility coming in 2027, 2028. Now, at the same time, a lot of people are starting to talk about Sword and Shield again, whether that's Brilliant Stars, whether it's Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin. And you guys know my position. I don't think Brilliant Stars is that great of a set compared to Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies. I think all of those are in a tier 2 above Brilliant Stars. But at the same time, during this correction, Brilliant Stars has performed way better than all of those sets. It's not even close. I think at peak to bottom, if we exclude this 2-day period where the box was around $410 on TCG Player because someone was selling some boxes very cheap, it's been in this like $475 to $490 range, which really isn't that large of a drop from around $545, $550 at peak. So one of the smallest corrections when we look at the highest of highs to the lowest of lows over the past couple months. But the other important thing that we need to talk about when it comes to Brilliant Stars is the fact that it is already back to all-time highs. If you come in here and look at TCG Player, most recent sales, $548 from today. Yesterday, we had a sale at $550. Another one at $500, granted, that is a little bit lower. But then 2 boxes moved on the 26th at $559.98. So that means that 4 of the past 5 boxes have sold at the old all-time high of Brilliant Stars. And there was even a sale, I believe, maybe a couple days earlier, if I can find it, $574.88. That was on Christmas Eve. So a lot of sales now pushing $550, $560, even into the $570s. Now, can you find this box cheaper? Yes, you can find all boxes cheaper than TCG Player price normally. That is the case if you go on eBay, obviously in your Facebook groups, but this is huge. I mean, Brilliant Stars already being back to all-time highs. There's still people making videos. Yeah, I saw Danny Phantom's video today. He was responding to someone who was talking about a crash and wanting to sell everything. Like, there's still discussion about the Pokemon crash. Lots of people still think that everything's continuing to go down. And that's just not the case. There are outliers like Brilliant Stars that are already pushing new all-time high sales, it seems like every single day. And a lot of the other Sword and Shield boxes are starting to climb back up as well. So we went through a correction. People who were worried, maybe they didn't see the long-term vision of Pokemon, they listed their boxes. Maybe some people needed money to pay off credit card bills. All those people came to market. They sold their boxes or they still have them listed. And everyone else who believed in the long-term vision of these products held on. And now they are going to reap the benefits again, more than likely, right? So I just think that Brilliant Stars, not enough people are talking about this because I can't even explain to you why this is happening. I would not have expected Brilliant Stars to be the first booster box to recover from the Sword and Shield era. Generally, in the summer when we were seeing the booms, in the Sword and Shield era, it was your Fusion Strike going first, your Evolving Skies, Lost Origin would follow those, then maybe it was Chilling and Brilliant Stars that would follow. So it being the leader this time around is very interesting. And I think that also maybe brings a little bit more attention to a set like Chilling Reign, which granted isn't a top set in my opinion, but maybe just because it's a little bit cheaper of a box, that is going to be the next one that some people pay attention to. And if you guys are paying attention to the screen, you're looking, the 2 most recent sales on TCG Player, we had a sale $497 approximately, and another one at $500 USD. That was Christmas Eve and then Boxing Day. So keep an eye on Chilling Reign. Now, the other thing I wanted to say in regards to Brilliant Stars is this is a set that does get opened a lot, and it's really not something that you can argue. You can argue the amount that's been opened, but people do want to chase a lot of these cards, like the Charizard V, even though it's only $230 now. A lot of people do enjoy that artwork with Venusaur in there. You have the Trainer Gallery cards that were on the run this entire year. I mean, the Umbreon VMAX, that was huge when Prismatic Evolution started popping off. That doubled or tripled in value. Same thing with the Sylveon VMAX, the Umbreon V, Sylveon V, and then even the Mimikyu now is the third most expensive card in the set, sitting around $60 USD on TCG Player. And the reason why I bring this all up and talk about some of these cards being desirable and people wanting to try and open packs and chase them is because I want to try and get a good idea of how many packs have actually been opened. And I know a lot of you guys have probably watched Anon TCG over the past year. I actually really like Anon, and it's funny because a lot of the people I've worked with, one of the other creators that they talk about a lot is Anon, and I think that just speaks volumes of the value that he can actually provide people who watch his content. I'm a huge fan of his content as well, but he used to have the Pokemon Pack Destruction Tracker tool, and I can't, for some reason, find that online anymore, so I don't know if he put it behind a paywall, if he just stopped doing it. But either way, the concept was you would look at the top card that you could pull out of a booster box. You would go over to PSA, you would look at the population report, then you would have to find the pull rate data for that card. And generally TCG Player will put out data on each set when it releases. So for Brilliant Stars, I think this was based on 10,000 packs. The Charizard V was about 1 in 490 according to their calculations. I think most people have run with that number over the past couple years. So you have the pop report, which for the Charizard V is 28,963 currently. Then you need the pull rate, 1 in 490. And if you multiply these numbers together, it'll give you a general idea of how many packs you would need to open in order to get this population report. Now, I will say this number assumes that no copies have been regraded. However, I think that the regrading on a card like the Charizard is probably pretty low. And also, that's not including all the other grading companies and their population reports. So Beckett, with all of their grades up to the Black Label, Ace Grading, you could throw in there, CGC, SGC, ABC, XYZ, LMNOP, all the companies, you throw them all together, it's probably going to be a higher total than what you would get if you subtracted the regrades. So this number in theory is actually probably a lot higher than 28,963. But you multiply these numbers together, then you have to decide what percentage of cards you think actually get graded. I think Anon generally use 10%, which I think is a reasonable number to use, especially for maybe some of these lower tier alternate art cards that aren't super, super expensive. So you multiply the number you get from these first two by 10, if you're going with 10%. That's going to give you about 142 million packs that have been opened to pull all of those Charizard Vs. So like 1.42 billion cards almost. And that's equivalent to about 3.94 million booster boxes. And I know for some people, these numbers don't really mean anything. I know some people would also argue that a lot of these packs being opened were loose packs. They were coming from tins, collection boxes, and that for sure is also going to be the case. But it's just to illustrate and give you guys kind of a perspective on how many boxes have actually been opened and how many theoretical boxes could be out there. We're talking about 1.4 billion cards just trying to pull these Charizard Vs that have been opened, that are now in circulation. So if Pokemon's only printing, at least back then in 2022, 7-8 billion cards, that's a fairly large chunk of the total amount of cards that have been opened. I guess they did printing like 2023, maybe even some 2024, they did Brilliant Stars, but the point still stands, in my opinion. Tons of Brilliant Stars has been opened, and that's maybe why it's moving at this rate compared to some of the other boxes. For example, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, those are kind of lagging right now. I don't know if part of that has to do with it just being a newer set. Maybe less of those packs have been opened. I mean, that would make sense just because it is a newer set. But at the same time, if you did the math and figured out how many packs on average were opened every single day since the set was released, I wouldn't be surprised if 4 billion stars, it was a lot higher than some of those sets like Lost Origin. So just throwing that out there into the ethos. You guys can let me know what you think, but I believe 2026 is going to be a big year, not just for Brilliant Stars, not just for Chilling Reign, but a lot of these Sword and Shield eras. People continue to go back and just try and find future-proofed investments that they feel confident in, especially with a lot of us facing uncertainty with what's going to happen with the late SV era stuff and then moving into Mega, of course. I think that is going to be anyone's guess as to what really happens and plays out with some of those sets moving forward. So you guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel. Helps out a ton getting these videos pushed to more people. I do also have links to my market spreadsheet at the top of the description, and then even links to my consultation calls and the mentorship program, which, by the way, we're going to be increasing the price on that heading into January. I think the value proposition is there for anyone who's really looking to take their TCG investing more seriously and wants to connect with a lot of high net worth individuals who are getting into the space as well. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely feel free to reach out through email, and I can hopefully answer your questions and see if you are going to be a good fit for that. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.